Hey friends, and welcome back to the channel for another furniture makeover. So it's been a super long time and I'm so excited to be back, and I don't really even know where to start. It's been a long time, but I've missed you guys and we have a lot to talk about in today's video. I first wanted to say welcome if you're new. We're on our road to 5K, which is crazy because the last time I did a video, we were on our road to 4K. So thank you so much for being here and joining my YouTube family. So for starters, the pieces that you're looking at now are pieces that are going to be a part of my nephew's bedroom makeover. If you've been around, you would have heard me say I told him I would do a bedroom makeover for him, and it's been about 2 years and he literally won't stop asking. And so I'm finally going to go ahead and get it done. I figured it would be easier to do this before baby gets here. I did have a hard time just like resisting the temptation to work, but I definitely wanted to make it to at least 17 weeks. And so in this video, I am actually 17 weeks pregnant. But as far as this voiceover, I'm actually 5 months officially yesterday. So I'm 20 weeks and a couple days. Yeah, it was 2 days ago. So I'm 5 months and 2 days, and I'm really excited. The pregnancy has been very smooth and I am very healthy. Unfortunately, you really can't see the bump in this video with what I have on, but maybe I'll come and show you guys that soon. So for starters, you guys know I always start by cleaning my pieces with soap and water. I'm using Dawn soap, and then I make sure to come back and rinse everything when I'm done. Okay, so more about my pregnancy. I know that everyone has not watched my talking videos, and in those videos I did share that we are having a baby girl. And so I've been feeling kicks lately. The tiredness has subsided a lot. My feet are actually getting a little swollen though, and the bump is actually really bumping. So we're doing good. You know, I haven't really had too many side effects. I do notice that I have a very weak bladder, so I am constantly waking up throughout the night. But aside from that, everything has been good, and I'm really grateful just for the smooth pregnancy. So here in this clip, what I'm doing is removing all of that gunk out of this drawer. Not really sure what it is. I don't really want to know what it is, but I'm using my heat gun and a spackle knife to scrape it off, and it came right up. All right, and now to plug these hardware holes, I'm going to use my Bondo. I use this all the time. It's one of my favorite wood fillers, and it just gives you a nice hard finish in just a few minutes. So I'm trying to actually apply it really thin, because I know my electric sander won't fit within this gap. So I'm going to have to sand that off by hand, and that's a very tedious job. If you know, you know. So just make sure if you can't use your electric sander, always try to apply a very thin layer of Bondo. Okay, so moving right along, this dresser was in pretty good condition. So all I'm gonna do is a light scuff sand all around just for adhesion purposes. I use a 120 grit sandpaper whenever I'm scuff sanding. And then you'll notice that I do have a hose attached to my electric sander. And that was one of the precautions that I wanted to take so that I could just further protect my baby's health. So I ordered this on Amazon. It did come with a couple of attachments. The ones that it came with didn't quite fit with my electric sander and my shop vac, so I had to put duct tape on either end, but I think it got the job done. I don't see any sanding dust floating in the air, so that's a good thing. And then here I am just hand sanding back that Bondo. Okay, so now I went ahead and rinsed everything off and allowed it to dry, and then I'm ready to move on to primer. So today I'm using Zinsser's 123 primer. If I'm honest, It's not my favorite. I absolutely love the Sensor Bin shellac based primer, but again, I just wanted to protect my baby, and that stuff is really strong, especially when I go to clean it with my ammonia. So I thought I would just give this one a try. I ordered it in a quart, and when I came back to do my scuff sanding, I did notice it was kind of peeling in a couple of areas. So I don't know, it's just not my favorite, but this was my first time using it, so maybe I just need to give it another try. It just, I mean, I guess once you go shellac, you don't go back. So this definitely doesn't compare. But the main difference between this one and the shellac is that the shellac is tannin blocking and this one is not. However, that's not any of my concern because I will be painting this dresser black. So my main concern is adhesion, and that's really the only reason I prime when I'm using dark colors. So that's that. Okay, so I know I already said this, but I feel like someone's still gonna ask, why am I priming over an already white bed frame? That's because I want to guarantee the utmost adhesion possible, if that makes sense. Like, primer for me is just all about durability, and because I sell my work, I definitely always want my clients to have the best quality. Now, in this case, my client is my nephew and he's not paying me, but that's okay. And I know he's really kind of rough, so I want his furniture to be as durable as possible. Okay, so it's day 2. We're ready to begin the painting process, but first we do need to sand down our primer with a fine grit sandpaper. I usually reach for a 400 grit sandpaper, but today I only have a 320 grit sandpaper, so that's what I'm going to use. And once I started, this is kind of where I noticed some chipping on the drawer fronts, but I wasn't too concerned about it. I felt like for the most part the primer did spray very smooth, so I'm just going to move my attention over to the dresser, and then from there we're ready to paint. So for the paint today, I'm going to be using Benjamin Moore's Command. I've definitely used this before and I am a fan. So this is actually, if I'm honest, my second favorite paint, but a favorite nonetheless. What's really cool about this paint is that it has a return to service time of 24 hours. So that means that this paint is fully cured in one day. You can stage it, you can use it as you would for it's done. There's no waiting, there's no 30 days, it's just ready to go. And so that's really great. Another thing about this paint is that it doesn't require a top coat, so it's just one and done. You honestly could get away with one coat of paint if you get it right the first time. I kind of missed a couple spots, so I did have to hit it again, but nothing but good things to say about this paint. The only reason that it comes in second place for me is because the other paint that I use has a very luxurious and high-end finish. This one is more flat, more dull. It is a satin finish, but it just doesn't give me that. It doesn't give me the same sheen as my other paint. So if you're a returning viewer, you already know what I'm talking about. And if you're new, just check out any of my previous videos to find out what paint that is. But I chose this paint on purpose because I definitely didn't want my nephew to have a very high-end luxurious kind of feel. I was going for something more casual, something more 9-year-old friendly, and so that's why I went with Benjamin Moore's Command. Now, if you're wondering why I chose to go with black paint, we wanted to keep his bedroom furniture timeless, my sister and I. And at first I really thought it would be cool to do like a Marvel themed dresser because that's going to be the theme for his room. But then I got to thinking that he's probably going to grow out of that in another year or two. And I can't promise that I'm going to get right into making this little boy another dresser. So it just was fitting to just go with something that was flexible, something that can kind of transition with his life as he grows. And I just chose black. Well, we chose black. But I love painting furniture black. It's my favorite. It's my favorite paint color on furniture. If you guys, again, are returning, you already know that. So, but what I will say is I was very interested in trying black on black. So I've always wanted to do a black piece with black hardware. And this was my opportunity to do that. So you guys, if you keep watching, you'll see what it looks like. But I do have to give this disclaimer. I personally think it looks better in person than it does on camera, because there is a contrast, but it's not really picking up on the camera as much as I think it does in person. But I do love the way that the black on black turned out, and I would definitely be open to doing this again. You guys can share your thoughts. I don't know if you guys would agree with me about the black on black thing, but it's something that I am very much a fan of. Now, the hardware that I got was a matte finish, and I did have some issues, so I do have a bone to pick with Amazon because I had to get 2 different size hardwares, and one came in the matte finish and then the other one came in a satin finish, and I was devastated. So I ended up having to paint half of the hardware, but it really was a perfect match, so all is well. But I did have to spend an additional $6 or $7 on spray paint. So that was the frustrating thing. I was going to return it and just get the right thing, but they were out of stock and it was taking way too long. Plus I had to wait like 2 weeks for the hardware because the ones that came in the wrong finish were not a prime item, and it was just a whole mess. But that's kind of why this video took so long. I wanted to have this out a couple weeks ago, but here we are. I finally gave in and decided to go ahead and spray paint that hardware. So that's pretty much the last thing I have to do. I did not film that part. So we're gonna get into the before and after. Keep watching. Okay, so I know that was supposed to be the last thing that I had to say, but I wanted to mention that I definitely want to come back on here with a video of us doing the bedroom makeover. So just be praying that all goes well, because I would love to upload that for you guys soon. And then after that, I think I'm going to do one more flip as far as I know. And then we'll just see where God leads me from there. But it did feel so good to be back. I felt more like myself than I have in a long time doing this, and I'm just so grateful that you guys have been so supportive in my absence. So again, thank you for being here. I appreciate you all and all of your prayers and your patience with me. Now let's get into this before and after.